Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie. Jesteśmy w siedzibie applepit.pl i dzisiaj mamy dla Państwa kolejny wywiad. Tym razem mamy u siebie Honza Tomanka. Dobry dzień.
Hello, dobry dzień. Dzień
dobry. Yes. So let me get on to this, Honza. You are a two-time world champion in a half Ironman. And you are a very important figure in the society of para athletes, and I want to welcome you here with
Thank
us. First of all, I want to wish you a good luck for tomorrow's race.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big challenge.
Yeah, it is. It will a really big challenge because when I spoke yesterday with Adam from organization team, I changed my participation because my goal for this season was full Ironman. But situation about virus corona is not too good for every sportsman, but not too good for everybody. But I think that is one of last possibilities. Go to full distance is here, and I changed my goal for this race because I was registered to the half distance, and I divide that I will start in full distance.
Okay.
It will a really big challenge for me because in the Ocean Lava is my first full distance.
Okay.
I'm looking
We're very
forward
happy
to
to
this.
that. We're gonna be the first ones for you to experience the full distance. So then tell me, how do you like the route? Have you checked the road, the lake, the bike ride?
So I arrived to the Bigos on Wednesday, but on Wednesday I tried swimming on the course. It's look like really pretty, but temperature is very comfortable, about 22-23 degrees, and I think that swimming is really nice. And I checked bike course and run course, and bike course is really easy because about 120 uphill meter per every lap is I think that is easy and it will fast, but the roads are really good, in a really good condition, but only for me it not good turning point because handbike is a little difficult change
Direction?
Yeah, change direction, but it look like really pretty. But I expect time under 7 hours on 180 kilometer. It will be hard because it's my first full, but I think that road and everything is really in good condition. But I try a run course, but run course in the park is really beautiful because roads are really good and fast, but for racing wheelchair is very important for the run course and profile and quality of the roads. But I think that in the Bigos is really prepared to good, and I'm looking forward to my start.
That's very nice to hear from you. So, are you prepared for the full Ironman? Because you were not expecting that you're gonna participate in the full Ironman, and now you change your mind. So you must be confident.
But I think that best prepare. I don't know, because it's my first full. Last week I start in the other competition in Poland in the half distance, but never in my life didn't start during the 1 week into half distance, and now I had half distance, and 7 days later I will have full distance. This is really crazy, but when how I say this is one of the last possibilities this year, go to the full distance, but I feel great. I think that I feel better than before 1 week, but my goal for tomorrow is be in the hell and happy with smile in the finish time. But I expect time under 12 hours. But I think that is real for me. but I hope that everything will pretty, but I hope that I will faster than storm, which will come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot and then it's gonna be storm, huh? So let's hope for good weather for you guys, for all the competitors. So then you mentioned a little bit about your handbike. How is it difficult to change direction?
Okay.
So how different is it to participate on a handbike and then on a regular bike and running? How is it different from just a regular person?
Main difference is handbike has 3 wheels. Front wheels is very important because on front wheel is powered by hand, but the handbike is very similar as standard bike because on handbike we have chain, we have shifting system, we have chain rings, we have crank, we have pedal, or we call grips because we take it by hand, but speed on the handbike is a little bit lower because hands no have too big power potential as legs. Approximately hands have about only 30% power
of the legs.
In the legs. But during the bike course, I'm slower than normal cyclist. But on flat, I think that I only a little bit slower, about 20%. But important information about the handbike because when I mentioned that handbike is really close of the road. But I don't say I lie on the handbike because this is good for my power by hand and good for the aerodynamic. And this is my difference between
and how about the running bike?
And the running bike is called racing wheelchair. But when I can say I sit on the wheelchair, but when I can say that by normal wheelchair I'm walking, but when I sit on the racing wheelchair, this is very similar movement because I have pushing rims. So racing wheelchair has 3 wheels.
Please explain.
Two big wheels, two big rear wheels with push rings. This is the push ring, and I do similar movement. I push to push, yes, and I go to the forward. No shifting system, nothing.
Just
it's directly.
Okay, so then you've been competing in triathlon for 3 years now, professionally, and I want to ask how did the scene of triathlon change? Because 3 years ago, maybe it was just starting, and now 3 years later, how different is triathlon for disabled athletes now than it was before?
I think it's really different because usually normal, no handicap swimmers using hand during the swimming, then and relaxing and only go by leg. But situation for me is a little bit harder because I need hand for all discipline, and I must save power for during the bike and run course. It's a little bit different. But when I mention that hand power is about 30% of power of legs, but it is harder. But I think that this is more intensive. I can compare sport handicap with normal sport because I had a car accident when I was 15 years old. But I think that sports with handicap is more intensive, and I like it. But I won't recommend it because I think that normal walking is more better and easier. But I think that sport with handicap is very interesting, and it's a good motivation for other participate there or other one.
So when you started 3 years ago, was it? Did you see a big number of other para athletes participating with you? Have you seen a lot of people like you on a racing bike or the racing wheelchair with you participating? Did you see a lot of those people then?
I think that every sport, but it not depend if sport for handicapped person or no handicapped person, and during the 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, and progress of sport is really huge. But in sport, disabled sport is shorter history than sport no handicap. But during the last 3 years, and condition other guys across the world is biggest and biggest. Times are faster and faster, and progress is really fast.
So do you see more people like you then participate? Maybe some of the kids?
I think that not too more, because sport disabled is really hard, and I think it's not too new person. I'm little sad from this, because for example in Czech Republic every year about 200 new person sit to the wheelchair after the accident, but I don't know where are, because
they're not taking part. You don't see them taking part in competitions or anything.
Yeah. But a very good sports program have, for example, in Switzerland, because I spent many time of training camp in Switzerland for a racing wheelchair. But Switzerland's people have really good program, because they start and teach on a racing wheelchair and handbike really small child, but this is very good.
So I know you've been a professional athlete for a while now, and then in Parasport, in cross-country skiing, and then now in triathlon. So how your achievements in sport kind of were reflected in Czech Republic? Did you get national recognition for your successes? Like maybe in the media, or people on the streets would recognize you?
I think no, because sport with handicap is not in the focus of media. But I think that the situation in Czech Republic is not good for the presentation of professional sports of the disabled. And then I would like to thank you about this interview, because I think that is really important talk about topic as parasports and disabled wheelchair, and thank you for everything. But I hope, I think the situation is better and better. But for example, when I compare situation in the Czech Republic and situation, for example, in the US, and the US is more better situation about speaking about a handicap and interview with professional sportsmen with handicap. But I hope the situation will better and better.
Yeah, I think in Poland is very similar. It's very hard to find people in the media talk about really big achievements of people with disabled.
But I don't know why, because I think that for me the sport, maybe a little bit intensive when I mentioned, but the same, because I start during the triathlon with no handicap person, but usually I finish in first 10-20%. But I don't know how will situation tomorrow. Maybe I will get in the finish line, maybe. But I hope. But I think that is people with disabled is the same as no handicap. I don't know why its interest is lower.
I mean, it's the same feeling of like accomplishment. It's the same work in preparation. And people at the finish line cheer on everybody.
But I think that maybe sport with the disabled is a little bit harder, because usually when no handicapped person when he have a hard training, is more easier for than relaxing. But when you sit on the wheelchair, it's harder for you because you need your hand during the whole life.
So I would think that if it's harder even for people with disability, then media should really pay more attention to those people.
Yeah.
Because they're doing a much more difficult job. So switching the topic to your teaching, because you also teach at the university, you give speeches to students, most of them my age as well, and you talk about top handicapped sports, so maybe better if you tell me what are the topics that you discuss with those students.
My teaching activities start about 10 years back. I cooperate with my friend, which she won't write few essay about my sports, and I start cooperation with university in Czech Republic, and first time I speak only about possibilities of the sport with the disabled. Then my speeches were more professional, and I start speak about professional sport with handicap and other topic as economic and sponsors and nutrition and training. I teach in university, and then I'm lecturer on the meeting with children in elementary and secondary school, when I speak about the handicap and wheelchair and sport. And then I do many motivation speeches, motivation speech for the private sector, for companies. It's very interesting for me, and I think that is good for brand Honza Tomanek.
So let's get back to this. You say you teach the students about like partners. So are partners getting partners or sponsors for you is difficult? Is it a hard process?
This is very difficult because many people thinks that people with handicap this is charity. It's really good that somebody on a wheelchair do something with you have liked. But I think it's maybe on the start, but I'm professional sportsman and I need the same support as no handicap sportsman, but it's very hard. But situation is little bit better, but I don't know how the situation about the corona, but sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse, but during the last, for example, 5 years, situation are better, but it is hard.
Okay, so how expensive is it to take part in parasports? For example, triathlon, you need to have 2 different bikes, but how is it for cross-country skiing as well?
So cross-country skiing is cheapest. Price of the cross-country sledge is around 1,000 or 2,000 euro. It depends how configuration do you have, but handbike is really expensive because price is around 10-12,000 euro, and a racing wheelchair is around 6,000 euro, but you need every 1 or 2 years new one. And then traveling, big car, and when I mentioned that I'm professional sportsman, but you need some money for life, but my year budget, financial budget is about 60,000 euros.
To get all the equipment prepared and travel from competition
Traveling,
to competition.
equipment, life, and everything with a professional
sport. So was there anybody that really helped you out in the beginning and is helping you now to this day, for example? Because you've been an athlete for 10 years now, and how did it start in the beginning? Were the people that helped you at the
I
beginning?
understand. So after my accident, I don't know what will the next time. I don't know if I will walk or not. Situation was very complicated, but I tried swimming. First sport was swimming, but swimming is really beautiful in the open water. But I don't like swimming in the swimming pool.
Okay.
It's worst for me. But swimming was fine. But I search other sport activity when I can be outside, and I tried hand cycle, bike, but it was really fine because before my accident I competed on a mountain bike, a normal bike, and after the accident I tried it. It was really great because I feel adrenaline during the downhill passages, and I feel wind in the hair. It was really fine, and I would like thanks to my family, which helped me buy my first handbike. Then I start training process, and then I start cooperation with sponsors, and I'm professional, and my sports level higher and higher.
Yeah, so then more people came into it. How about the national team or the government? Was there any help that you got from the government organizations of sport?
Yes and no. It depends, because my preferred activity is endurance sports. Long triathlon and endurance long competition on cross country. But this sport is not my main focus of association in Czech Republic, because of this discipline are in Olympic or Paralympic program.
There are or they're not?
No, not are.
That's the difference.
But situation is different. But when I participate only in the para-triathlon, short Paralympic distance, I have some support from Czech agency, Czech association. But no, because my sports activities
are not Olympic.
No. I don't play in Olympic because my favorite is long distance, but I like it.
The fact that the sports that you participate are not Olympic sports, then the government kind of pushes it away and doesn't support you.
This is sad, but this is real situation.
I think it's run by money, this organizations. So I think I finished all my questions. Is there anything you think that's important for people to know about para-athletes, about professional athletes? Maybe something that you always tell your students at the university. Would you tell that something to us?
I would like only to mention that sport with handicap and sport without handicap, the same family. Sport is only one, and I think that everybody who will come tomorrow see it during the race, and I hope that it see during the finish line.
Okay, well, so we're gonna finish on that note. Thank you, Honza, very much for the interview, and we'll see you guys on Saturday at the race.